Hello everybody, happy Monday, or I mean I guess it could be Tuesday actually if you're one of the weird time jumping oceanic people, so your Aussies and your Kiwis for example. But it doesn't matter what day it is. We are going to be playing another one of D. Alves's amazing Supercross tracks. If you haven't had the pleasure of playing any of these yet, this is the second one that he's made, and of course the link will be in the top of the description down below. The first one of this I really enjoyed, and it was actually one of the main tracks that I use ahead of the aerial season starting, just because of the scaling. It's definitely on the smaller side. The track is a little bit more narrow. The jumps are fairly peaky and spaced quite close together, so it definitely does appeal to the higher level of player. However, if you're someone that is on the lower side, maybe you're just starting out, maybe you might want to stay away from it. But I'm always a big fan of throwing yourself in at the deep end as well, and you never know until you try it. Definitely give it a go. Don't be scared off by the link. This is a shop track, however it is on a pay what you want basis. So if you are someone who has got fat stacks and you want to share the love to some of the people that put their time and effort into the game, you can do so. If you are on the younger side and maybe you don't have your own form of remuneration yet, then you can also go and get it as well. So I just want to basically learn this track with you all for the first time, and I'm sure you can agree, as we're looking around here, the track feels very alive. You've got like the flashes from people's cameras in the stands. You've just got these little animations, like you got the camera here going along the side of the track, even down to having the cameras on the side here as well, having a little zoom around. It all feels alive and like a Supercross track should, and I absolutely love it. So much attention to detail, and to even offer this to people for free, I just think it's really cool of DA to do. So we're going to learn this for the very first time together, show you through my thought process, kind of see what lines are and aren't possible. I am riding the KTM 450 as always, just with a Triumph model swap on it, and I hope you enjoy the video. One thing that is also very cool, I don't know if DA made the stadium himself, or if it was maybe a Red Rider creation or someone else completely, but this stadium, you basically go out of it slash inside of it twice, so I'll show you what I mean as we get further around. But the layout itself actually looks quite cool. You know, it splits off a few times. So we've got 22 start gates. You come around your first turn here, and we turn off to the left under the whole shot line, and this is where we will begin. So we're going to see what we're rocking with, what we're doing, and I'm hoping it won't take me too long to learn the muscle memory of this size again, just since it is very aerial-esque. It's just going to be a case of trying to piece all the rhythms together. But yeah, like I said in the intro, the rhythms they're difficult, let's say. So if you want to try and hit a big boy line, you need to be pretty much perfect. And the reason I'm riding the KTM still is that's just kind of what I'm feeling most comfortable with at this point. I feel like I'm very set on it. I've tried a whole bunch of different bikes. I've tried the Husky 450 out because a lot of the fast boys have started to switch to that recently, and it's a good bike. It's just a little bit too twitchy for me, a little bit on the inconsistent side. I've then tried the Yami, which feels really quick, but then the front end on the Yami feels like it's really far away and detached from my rider, and I don't have that much control over it. The Beta, I think, is the quickest bike in the game, just in terms of raw speed and raw power and how it just puts it down to the ground. I don't think I've come across a rhythm section yet that the Beta can't get through in like 2 jumps. It's just nuts. Now, the only downside I've had with the Beta, which I experienced the other day in the PC, was it the PC? Yeah, it was the PCK series, the Charged Cycle Works PCK series. I tried the Beta. As soon as the Erode came in, I feel like I couldn't stick in a corner. The Erode was really messing with the bike. The front end didn't like it at all. So you kind of have to do a lot of searching around on the track to really try and find those smooth lines to stay out of it. But the KTM, just for me, it just seems to work. I can stay in the rough stuff for a lot longer than other people seem to be able to. It really sits in the ruts nicely. It's not the slowest by any means. I'd say it's maybe like 3rd or 4th behind the Beta and the Yamaha, maybe the Fantic as well, but it's definitely a solid option. So that's what I'm rocking with, I think, probably for the rest of the season, unless it becomes majorly apparent that there is another much quicker bike. I know that, I want to say them 3 or 4 bikes I've mentioned, they are all very capable in their own ways. I just don't think at the moment there is a clear standout favourite. That's all on the 450 side of things, bearing in mind. I think the 250s on this game, 99% of people are kind of set on the Husky, set in their ways on it. Do you see the occasional KTM popping up? I've even seen a couple of Hondas popping up as well. Nothing but respect for the Honda enjoyers. Anytime I hop on a 250, because I'm not like a big 250 competitor. My speed on it is just way off of any 250 guys anyway. I usually just ride them for fun on occasion, or if I'm doing one-on-one lessons and someone's riding a 250, I'll hop on one so I can kind of relate to what I'm telling them to do. I really like hopping on the Honda. I think it looks good, sounds good straight out of the box as well from the OEM Discord sound, and it handles good. I don't think you need really much of a setup at all, unless you're blitzing a set of whoops. I mean, it handles the outdoors just fine. So if you haven't given the Honda 250 a go, then by all means, try it out. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised. I mean, the other thing is I think it might be the only 250 that I actually have a skin for, so that probably helps in my decision making as well, because looking good is half the battle of motocross. Also, very excited at the moment. I'm going for a whole merch revamp, as you may be aware. I mentioned it in my Discord a couple of days ago. If you're not part of Discord, then by all means, do feel free to join up. There should be a link to it in the description as well. I'm doing a merch revamp, but I'm actually trying to make actual designs of clothing rather than it just being the Linz logo, because I feel like that's incredibly lazy. So I did ask a few of you guys what sort of stuff you'd be looking for, and we had a couple of good ideas. You boys seem to, for some reason, really like, for whatever reason, whenever I get to a whoop section, we go do 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 do. So we're trying to get a little bit of a do 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 vibe going on, and we got some hats going on at the moment. I'm happy with how they look. I got 2 different shirt designs, which I'm fairly happy with right now. But I feel like I need to do... I feel like I want more. I like doing more, and I never thought I'd find myself in a place where I'm actually enjoying designing t-shirts, for example. I mean, I'm very, very limited on my skill set. It's probably something I should be doing in Illustrator rather than Photoshop, but I'm getting around it. I'm having a decently fun time doing it as well. So if you're wondering, kind of, it generally may have been like a week since I last uploaded a video, but the streams have been going really well, so I haven't really felt too much of a need to upload videos, but it's nice to hop back on and record a normal video every now and then, and I just can't thank everybody enough. Like, the streams recently have just been so good. Everyone's super excited for Anaheim 1. That was a record-breaking stream. San Diego was a little bit off of A1, but that's always going to be the case. You know, round 1 is the biggest hype of the year, but we still had an insane number of people. I think it was still over 900 or so. So again, thank you everybody. And then the DDC streams as well. I know they're not based off of the real series, but everyone really likes the DDC tracks also, and they're good fun. And now we've also got the PCK series on Thursday nights, or Friday mornings for me, I guess you could say. So that, again, that's just another additional layer of everything that's going on. And I just think it's really cool. We've got so much action, so much racing going on these days that I generally probably could stream every single day, and it's just another race. But I don't want to burn myself out too much. It's very easy to do that on bikes, so it's definitely easy to put too much time in, especially at the start of a season when you're trying to get the best out of yourself and trying to go as fast as possible. It can be easy to play the game for too long, so that is what I'm trying to steer clear from for the time being. I'm just trying to couple hours a day, maybe at most. Today was a particularly busy day for me. I had 3 different one-on-one coaching sessions today, and it seems to happen quite often, and I don't know how, but I haven't had a coaching session for the last maybe like a month. I generally think it has been a month because it's before Christmas that I had it, and I go from having none in a month to then having 3 of them in one day, and then I've got another one booked for Monday night as well. So that was just so weird. I don't know if everyone's just in sync, you know. It's like when the ladies spend a little bit too much time together, they might sync up, their cycles come together. Maybe you guys have been doing that. Maybe you're all playing too much MX bikes at the same time, and then you all want to try and have a little one-on-one coaching session with your boy. But I do enjoy them. I'm hesitant to do them all the time. Like, I'm nervous going into them all the time because I'm a very I guess anxious and socially awkward person. Like, talking like this, like just person to person now, I'm not talking to anyone. I'm just talking to my camera. I'm just there's no one here. It's just me. I'm talking to myself. It's a very weird concept, but I'm talking to you guys. But when I'm then in a Discord call one-on-one with someone that I'd never spoken to before, that's when I start getting a little bit like, oh, I don't know what to say. This is awkward. Oh, it's been silent for 2 seconds. I need to try and talk and fill the void. But it also then does push me out of my comfort zone, which is something that I definitely need to do more of, and just help build overall confidence as a person. So they do benefit me in multiple ways. And I get emails. I get, I'm not quite that old. I get Discord messages now and then as well from people, even a couple hours after our session, saying, I've dropped my lap time by this much on this track, this much on this track, and so on and so forth. And it actually does make me feel good. Like, I know I'm not much of a people person, but seeing stuff like that does generally make me feel happy and that I've helped someone in some way at all. So, I mean, I guess this is like the longest plug in the world. If you do want a little bit of one-on-one Linz action, then by all means, again, link in the description down below for some one-on-one coaching. Go and check it out. And it's not just me that does it. There's a bunch of other pros that do it at the same time. So if Linda is not your cup of tea, then maybe somebody else will be. I'm going to set a track marker here. I want to try and just experiment with some lines a little bit, because I just went step over. So if I can go step over again, and then triple. Oh, that triple was a little bit of a stretch. You got to really downside that second one nice. This is what I mean. These tracks, generally I can spend the longest time learning these tracks and trying to get all the smooth lines, and then I can get the smooth lines, but then it's a case of trying to get all of the smooth lines in one lap. Like, the tracks are so difficult, but that's personally why I enjoy them. It's probably why I'm a big advocate of wanting like rough and rutted Supercross tracks as well, as opposed to the prep versions, is I like being challenged. And unfortunately, when you have no life like I do, and you have 4,000 hours on the game, it can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes to find that challenge. Now, that's not me saying that I'm the best rider in the world, nobody can beat me, blah, 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 because we all know that's not true. A lot of people beat me every single week. But what I'm saying is, once you have that base level of skill in the game, to actually find a track that challenges you in a different way can be hard to come by. So I really do appreciate the scaling that D. Alves has gone for here. I really do enjoy it. I know it might not be everyone's cup of tea. I feel like it might not be a lot of people's cup of tea, actually. A lot of people tend to like the more open scaling, a little bit faster pace, and a little bit more room for error. But I really enjoy this. The weird thing is, the easiest part of this track so far is the whoops, which makes no sense to me, because the whoops are usually the hardest bit of a track, but I seem to, maybe just vibes with the setup I've got, I just seem to be able to hold down the right trigger and I can get through them okay and have a good time. I think the overall layout of the track is fun. You don't see many Supercross tracks that have 2 tunnel jumps where you kind of go back and forth underneath yourself twice. In the same way, you don't get many tracks where you kind of go out and back into the stadium multiple times. You know, it gives me, again, this is for some of the old folk. I know some of you youngsters didn't get the joy of getting to play MX vs ATV Reflex back in the day, back in its prime. It gives me Kingston vibes. Kingston round 1, Kingston round 2 vibes, just kind of where you go out of the stadium a little bit. And I don't know why, it just makes me think of that. It's not quite as wide open, hit everything, send everything as far as you can, as Reflex was back in the day, but it still feels good. And I like just the attention to detail everywhere, just little bits like this. Like, it's not all perfect and in unison. You've got camping chairs set out, you've got tables set up as well, like you've got mats to go under the bike, but they're not all perfectly in unison. They've been moved about as if they have actually been used. And then it's not too over the top either, because he's put stuff where you can see it and where it needs to be. So we've got like the medic rig all down the back here, yet if you was to go in free camera, go down the back there and then turn around the corner, there's nothing there, and there doesn't need to be anything there because we never see it unless you go hunting for it in replay. So just a really good job. And considering all the animations and stuff that we've got going on with like flying cameras and the flashlights going on around the stadium, not a single frame has been dropped. I'm getting really good frames around here, so it's all optimized really nicely, and just a really solid job, well done. And again, I think if I had made a track like this, I'd probably be incredibly greedy. I'd probably say, you know what, give me 50 cents to $1 each. I put a lot of time and effort into this, but people have better souls than I do. So again, massive W for Mr. DA. How good was the racing at San Diego, by the way? The real life race. I've really enjoyed watching it. I'm so gutted for Shimoda. I really am. I absolutely love him. I think he's such a nice person, and I love seeing him do well. So that actually sucks to see him hurt his hand like that. The 250 class, I feel like the racing was a little bit lackluster, I'll be honest. But the 450 class more than made up for it. What a good race, guys. I love seeing like Tomac do well. I love seeing Jet do well. I like Chase as well. There's not actually many people in the 450 class I'm not a big fan of. So just to watch people that you enjoy racing, enjoy watching race right now and doing well, big W all round. So I really do like it. The track did look a little bit hard to pass on, and just like it was in game, but the pass that Tomac made around the outside in the sand, I was just like, you know what, you just have to take a moment sometimes and just clap your hands at someone, because that was so good. And I'm hoping that everyone stays fairly healthy throughout the season. I'd love to see more rounds and races like that. My RM picks originally were quite chalked because like Tomac, Jet, and Chase, and I think almost everyone that I picked to be top 5 in RM were outside the top 5. But I think my picks was, what was it? It was Tomac to win, which I got. I then chose Sexton 2nd, which I didn't get. I chose Jet 3rd, which I didn't get. I then chose Webb 4th. Did Webb get 4th or did he get 5th? Did Kenny beat him? Oh, I can't remember now. Yeah, I was a big... I doubted Kenny, and I really shouldn't have. I just thought he might have been a one and done at round 1, but he's got some very, very good speed this year, and he's been good out of the gate too so far. So, yeah, I might have to start putting Kenny back in my top 5s again. It was really, really good. And then I think I put Hunter as my wildcard pick in P7, and I think he finished... Where did Hunter finish? I need to go back and look at the results. I'm getting them all kind of skewy. He might have finished 6th. It might have been Roxon 4th, Webb 5th, Hunter 6th, something like that, something along those lines. But I enjoyed it. It was a good night of racing nonetheless. It just sucks that I have to stay up until ungodly hours in the morning to be able to watch these Supercross, because sometimes I'm sitting there with like slits for eyes because I'm so tired and just want to go to bed, but the racing's like really, really exciting. I'll probably do this a couple of times over the next, how long is it? Over the next week and a half or so. Just want to give you a little reminder that on the 1st of February, I'm going to be doing my first Donate-a-thon of the year. So we've got some goals for this one as well. We've got targets to get to and reach, just silly things like dyeing my mustache pink and then shaving it off, doing a hot chip challenge. Someone said Sprite challenge as well. I don't think that one's that bad, but I'll give that a go by all means. Just silly things like playing Fortnite on stream as well if we get to a certain point as well. I know a lot of you gamers enjoy your Fortnite. I'm horrific at it. I will be doing no build mode. I am not sorry for it, but that's the only way I'll probably be able to do semi-decent. I can't compete with all these young'uns that have an extra 7 fingers and toes that can press all the buttons and build super quickly. It's just not a bit of me. But yeah, I just thought I'd just let you guys know that that is going to be the case at the start of February. We're going to go uncapped as well. Just however long it goes for is however long it goes for. So if somehow we end up going for 2 weeks, then we end up going for 2 weeks, and I will just be a husk of a man by the end of it. I will be a shell of my former self. But again, thank you for all of the support. I really have been appreciating it. I'm hoping that with the lack of sleep from the Donate-a-thon, I hope I don't ruin myself too much for... Like, let's say, for example, it went for a week. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to sit out for a week straight. There will be sleep breaks in there. But I'm hoping I don't ruin myself. So if I'm doing like 12 hours of MX bikes every single day for a week, and then we get to the Friday and I have to race in the Aerial Championship, hoping it doesn't ruin my performance too much, because we had this before. I stayed up for like 30-something hours straight, slept for maybe 4 hours, then we hopped back on and I had to race Daytona last year, and it was not a good night. It was not a good performance. I was absolutely in the bin. The mental was gone. It was all over the place. So fingers crossed it goes a little bit better than that. But I think that'll wrap it up for this video. I've definitely bit your ear off enough. Genuinely, go and try these tracks out. If you don't like this one, then go and try number 1. If you don't like them both, then I guess they're not for you. But then if they are free tracks at the end of the day, you can't really complain too much, can you? I can understand paying for a track and then not liking it and being upset, but can't be upset with getting free content whatsoever. So again, Mr. Alves, I really appreciate the effort that you're putting in and giving out to the community. It's really, really cool, and the level of detail that you've put into these tracks is just incredible. So hopefully whenever Pointy Boy season is finished, you'll be able to bless us with some good outdoor tracks as well. Because stuff like Wolf Creek, like everybody loves Wolf Creek. We always get that suggested in in public lobby streams. So more of that. Keep it going. I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you for watching as well. If you did enjoy, by all means, drop a like. It really helps the channel grow and gets the videos out to more and more people. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well and you want to see some more content. And have a lovely rest of the day, most importantly, wherever you're up to. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.
Lynn's in the zone, never backing down. Riding MX bikes, he's the talk of the town. 2022 champ with a YouTube crown. His game is tight, no signs of slowing down. Late nights, bright lights, he's chasing that fame in the digital arena. Writing his name, she's a 10 out of 10. Supporting his lane, hairline might receive, but his passion's the same.